How'd you hear about it? Was it on Instagram or?
I saw it on Instagram. I got a request a while back. I guess when you guys were starting your first one, a request on Instagram. But a guy I work with, he competed for you guys. So he was like, "Hey, you should do that event. You know, it's for first responders, military, and I want to do an MMA fight in October. So I figured you guys do this in a cage. You know,
Ah,
and I'm cutting weight a little bit to try to get down. So it's kind of a good like middle ground to just to get back into the cage and see where I'm at.
I was gonna say that's probably like perfect timing for you. Have you
Yeah.
ever done like a cage fight before? Was that your first one that you're gearing up for? Or?
I'm 4-4. I was 4-3 like 12 years ago, and I don't know, midlife crisis maybe. I don't know. I'm like, you know what? Let me just get back into it. Why not? And I took a fight pretty quick back in June, and it was a really good fight. I did well up until I didn't do well, and I got a referee stoppage, um, TKO. But I was fine. Bounce back up and move on.
Yeah. Dude, I gotta give it to you guys who get in there and actually fight because it's funny. We're doing it for people who are watching, we're doing this late at night. I just finished my first like striking class ever, like 45 minutes ago. Like I just like put my clothes on, showered and everything. Dude, completely different
Uh,
than jujitsu. Like
it's
night and day.
Yeah, they're completely different. It's wild because if you go into MMA, you have to learn all that. So it's like going back to your first day of jiu-jitsu. You go into a Muay Thai class and you're like, oh my god, what am I doing?
Dude, that's how I felt. I was like,
Yeah,
oh my god. I was like, I mean,
yeah,
listen, I suck now, but at jujitsu, or that's how I feel like. That's how I feel like. But I was like, dude, I was like, I'm like white belt right now. I'm trying to put my shin guards on. I'm like, how does this work? Like, it was good. It was good though, man. It was great. It was. I wish I did it like 10 years sooner. But yeah, anybody who gets into anybody who competes, like, dude, it takes a lot.
yeah, yeah. Especially like once you get into like your 30s, and then you see guys competing, they're in their 40s. Like somebody's like first time doing it. At your late 30s or 40 years old, and somebody's just like getting on the mat for the first time. It's crazy. I've been
Yeah,
in the mix of competing, for a while, um, but I couldn't imagine. I don't know if I never competed growing up. I don't think I'd ever do anything like at 30 or 40 years old to get back, in a competition. I don't think I would do it.
it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Listen, hats off to you. How long have you been training jujitsu?
Um. So probably like 12 years ago, I did it for about a year and a half, and then I had a huge break in between with like work, and I finally got back into it. So it's been about 3 years consistently now. Um,
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
so it was a big layoff.
It happens, man. I took like freaking. I got my blue belts. I took like 4 years off. I had a bunch of kids, and like life happens. This shit gets in
Yeah,
the way. The first
yeah,
event is actually what prompted me to get back into it because I had like a goal, and it was good. And now I'm like back consistent 3-4 times a week, like hitting all the open mats and stuff. So it's good. It's definitely good. How long have you been a cop for?
I guess probably about 12 years. I
Nice.
was I was part time for a little bit, for about a
Mhm.
year, and then I guess it's been around 11 years now in the pension. So
Nice. I'm like right there with you. I'm hitting my 11th year this January.
where do you work
So
at?
I did 4 years in NYPD, and now I'm in Nassau County. So I just switched over to the suburbs. But crazy switch, by the way, going from like a city to like a suburb. It took a while. It took like a solid 2 years to get used to it. But I'm in a good spot now. Like,
Yeah,
thank God.
yeah.
Um,
I couldn't imagine working like NYPD, being in the city, because we're really close to New Brunswick. So we have like our border team there, and we help them out. And that's like it's a city, but it's like the college is there, and it's not the best place. So but it's not really our jurisdiction. We just like have a border team. So to be in like New York City every day, like nah, I think I'm
You
good.
know, you know what it was, man. Is like I was young. I was single. I mean, I was dating my wife at the time, but young, like no house, no kids. It was kind of great because like all I did was work, gain experience, and like that was the time to definitely do it. I couldn't imagine like the guys, like all the guys I used to work with, like they got a bunch of kids, they got a house, they still got to make that commute. Like if they're living
Yeah.
out in the suburbs where I'm at. It's tough, man, but thankfully I'm in a good spot now. I hit the goal. Hopefully none of them are listening right now and they're like shaking their fist at me. But if they are, hopefully they're in a good spot too. But how has law enforcement like treated you so far? Because like I've seen a lot of people at like that 10, 11 year mark. Like that's where like it starts to get like monotonous or like you start to become like that hairbag as people call. Like how's it been for you?
It's been good. I mean, my first year I was on the show down the shore, so I started out in Point Pleasant, and then I went over to Ocean Gate. Yeah, Ocean Gate was a small town, like right on the beach, and it was part time. And then I went over to another town um, near New Brunswick in Somerset County, and it wasn't the slowest town in the world. It was super small, but
Mhm.
like it was, you could be busy if you wanted to there. So I feel like that chewed up like the first 5 or 6 years of doing actual police work, and then I transferred over to the prosecutor's office, and the last 6 years, 5.5 years, has been completely different than patrol. So I haven't really hit that point yet where I'm like, oh man, like it's just the same thing over and over. It's still kind of new every day, and
Mhm.
you don't know when you're gonna get switched. I've been in narcotics for my entire time in the prosecutor's office, so it's been 5.5 years in the same unit, on our street crimes unit, and there's always a little bit of action going on there. But like I said, like there's still that chance. Hey, you're getting pulled for major crimes or burglary. Um, so I'm still pretty positive about it. Of course, there's guys that they're just checked out. They just want to make it to retirement. But I feel like at this point that there's a couple guys that are all at the same stage in their career. We're still pretty motivated. Um, but there are some guys that are getting to that point where they're just saying, all it is come to work, go home, and make it to retirement. So, but like I said, it's been good. I can't complain. My office has been awesome. It beats patrol. Um, yeah, I don't think I'm at that salty stage yet.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
probably get there.
It happened. But I feel like my whole career, like every 2 years, like I would switch to something. Like in the NYPD, I was like foot post, and then patrol, and then we did like a conditions like special ops team, and then to the county, and then from the county patrol, I'm in the squad now. So like it's different, it's change up, but I'm seeing like that 10 year mark. It's like there's a fork in the road almost, like especially for people watching if you're like at that 10 year mark or even if you're at like that 3 year mark in like a busy spot, you like hit that fork where you're like, all right, am I just gonna come here, collect a paycheck, or am I gonna like do something? And listen, times have changed, yes, body cameras and stuff and this and that. I feel like it is kind of what you make of it though, for sure. And it definitely depends on the attitude. It probably helps that, like, when you're healthy and you train and like you keep a positive attitude and stuff like that. It's when people get into like boozing too much and like
Yeah,
not working out and stuff. Like
yeah,
it happens, but people can always bounce back for sure. How has so you're in narco, like the narcotics unit now.
yeah,
Like how has that been? How long have you been there? You said like 5 years or so, or
yeah. So the last 5.5 years I've been in narcotics, so it's been awesome. I don't
what's
ever
the
want to leave.
what's the I mean, well, listen, I hear that from a lot of narco guys. What's been like the biggest problem that you see, like overdoses or like doing buys and stuff like that, or
Honestly, so I would say COVID hit, and I don't think it's ever really been the same. I think when COVID hit, the increase in like people with guns have spiked. Like our main focus really is looking for kids with guns. Um, I don't know why. I don't know how. I guess because the police presence was less when
Mhm.
COVID hit, and people just kind of thought they could do whatever they wanted. And the streets, our area, it's not, the hand to hands happen, but it's not like an open air market. And it turned into that right after COVID. And for a place that's not supposed to be that busy, it was like if you didn't get a gun off somebody like once or twice a week, you're like, wow, man, today was slow. And it's
Oh
like,
yes, you guys are ripping guns like
yeah,
pretty
yeah, it was like it was just people. It was just weird. Like out of nowhere, just people had guns. You see them like clear as day, like heavy fanny pack, or they go up, they're selling, and you could like the butt of a gun sticking out. It was like I didn't think it would existed in Somerset County until you got to that area, and I think COVID screwed that up. So for the most part, we're out there. We're trying to prevent the shootings and get people with guns. The hand to hands are there. There are the overdoses. Heroin's still huge. Fentanyl.
Yeah.
But it's all out there. I would say the biggest thing right now is getting the guns off the street.
Well, so surprising for anybody watching, if they're street guys like old, like anti-crime guys, stuff like that, fanny packs. I feel like I would say like 2016, 2017, it became a thing out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And fanny pack, like for people watching this, like if they're into like what do they call it, chase and steal, like on Facebook and like all the Facebook groups and stuff, like I've seen a lot of the fanny packs. I've seen the back of Ubers, like people who are like passengers in Ubers. Oh, bro, if you would pull over an Uber, especially in New York City, and you would toss or like stop and frisk or whatever, like the guys in the back, I would say you got a 50% shot. I mean, obviously you got to criminally profile the people who are in the back and stuff. Don't pull over like grandma and grandpa, like going to a wedding venue at 10 o'clock at night. But what's like the biggest problem, like the gun problem? Has it been like ghost guns or just like gang stuff back and forth transporting, or like how do you guys usually find them? Like what's the MO?
It's kind of split between, like
How's the jujitsu training been, like mixing like the street crime, like cop work and stuff like that? It's been, I mean, obviously it's been helpful, but like how helpful for you? Like,
it's and having a wrestling background too, like coming into law enforcement, um, going hands on's never been an issue. Um, and I think some people would see me, wrestle somebody in the street, patrol at midnight shift. There's only two guys working, and a big guy starts resisting, and it's like a walk in the park. Like, all right, you resist, you put him to the ground, you handcuff him, no problem. But then the guy that doesn't train's watching, and they're like, "How'd you do that?" Well, like I pepper sprayed him and I punched him in the face, and it didn't work.
the
It's
pep.
like, well, yeah, but
Oh,
then you get that guy who looks at you like, oh, maybe I should do that. He's doing something right, and then you get somebody to start training. It's always played in my favor. I've never had an issue. You probably had it yourself, where people are yelling and screaming in your face. They want to fight you, and you're just calm. It's a weird thing how calm it keeps you. And I think it's from me probably getting caught in like head and arm chokes and all this goofy stuff in practice, and trying
yeah,
to stay calm and not tap out. And then you go into a scene where somebody that doesn't know how to fight is trying to fight you. It doesn't get your heart rate going. You're just like, whatever, man, just calm
yeah.
down. Like, if you want to do it, we can do it. But I'm pretty confident you're going to lose. So it's definitely been a confidence booster, and it keeps you calm. It keeps you off the news from doing something stupid.
Yep, yep.
So yeah, no, it's definitely been a big part. In the last 3 years, um, I've taken it pretty serious, and it's pretty cool. Our agency has a jiu-jitsu program every Tuesday morning. I think they're training, and like there's a large portion of our narcotics guys all train jiu-jitsu.
That's awesome. Dude, it's a pattern that I'm seeing now with a lot of departments. Like a ton of departments have like their own Instagram for like the jujitsu club, like they do their
Yeah.
open mats. It's freaking awesome. Like it's so cool. Like 8, 7 years ago, like that stuff did not exist.
Hmm.
Like it was like just started. I remember when I started training first, the NYPD made like their MMA club, and then they made it a grappling club, and they had boxing for years. Like and they would have like underground smokers and stuff for cops,
Yeah.
which is also crazy. A lot of people don't know that, but the NYPD
Yeah.
still has boxing matches between cops. It's fucking wild.
That's pretty cool though.
And there's usually like 1,000 people there. It's crazy. But that's a side point. But the point is like I've seen that as like a pattern. I think it's good. It feels like jujitsu or like grappling, especially nogi grappling, is like riding this wave of like almost becoming mainstream. Like, have you seen that yourself or?
Yeah, it's like it's almost like one of those things like you have to do now. It's like, hey, everybody's
Right, right,
doing it.
right.
Yeah, it's like culture weird, but in a sense, like it kind of gets a little bit like that. We're like, hey, dude, you don't train jiu-jitsu, or somebody comes in that doesn't train, and like we're sitting there talking about stripes on a belt. Like, hey, did you go to class? Oh, you got your fourth stripe or something. It's like they're like the outsider, or they think you're weird. It's there's definitely a
Yeah,
connection there, a little bit of like a. I'm saying cult because I think cults are stupid, obviously, but it is kind of like that. Like we have that like that little band. It's like, all right, we're bonding. Like, we have jiu-jitsu, we have something in common outside of law enforcement. We train jiu-jitsu. It definitely is. I think it's only going to get bigger. I thought that like the events that you guys are doing now, I think are great because I think it'll get the people that maybe they wrestled in high school, they haven't done anything,
Yeah.
or they train a little bit. It's like motivation to like, all right, it's just like we're just going against other cops. Like maybe I'll jump in there and get a match in because it's huge to be able to compete at least once in your life, before you got to go hands on with somebody in the street. I think that's important.
Because there's even a big difference between like train, like obviously if you're doing jujitsu, like you're going full blast for the most part. Like you can tone it down a little bit, but there's always that guy in the gym who like you slap bump with him, like, oh, it's 1,000% or nothing with this guy, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, competing is so different because compete, you get the adrenaline dump, the people are watching.
Yeah.
I I like I never when I first started training, I never like wanted to compete, and then I remember my first coach, he was retired homicide detective from the NYPD. And he's like, listen, he's like, even if you don't want to compete, if you're just doing this for like the skill or like the experience or like fitness, he's like, just compete once. He's like, see if you like it, see if you enjoy it. He's like, a competition or a tournament is never going to be like what you do in the gym. Like, we can recreate it as much as possible. Like, I can
Mm-hmm.
have you roll with another guy and like count points and stuff while everybody watches. He's like, and that'll kind of get you there. He's like, but competing is like, it's going to be totally different. I always try and tell people, like, if they're even if they have like one stripe wipeout, I'm like, dude, just freaking hop in there and compete. Like,
Yeah.
it's not MMA. Like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get brain.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's a little bit different. You would know more, but
But I
I would
think
say
like
the competing experience is good
I think in every profession, like it doesn't matter about law enforcement, like but especially for law enforcement, getting in, doing a live match, with people watching and your adrenaline up, the things that you're doing are probably what you're going to do in real life. Practice is practice. You'll be good and it's going to help you, but when you compete, what you do out there is pretty much like you can gauge yourself. Like, how would I have done if I was arresting somebody by myself on a night shift? If that was and I lost, like I got choked out, I didn't do anything. Like I need to get better because that's what would have happened in real life. I would have got my ass kicked. Or you do good and you're like, you know what? All right, I'm glad I tested myself. So now I know where I'm at. It's a good gauge. That back when I was saying it, I think it's super important for everybody to at least compete once. Even like I said, like it doesn't matter if you're a cop, if you can be a plumber, at least do it because it's healthy. You don't know when you're going to need it, so it's good to see where you're at.
for sure. How was the first time for you stepping into a cage for an MMA fight? Like, what was that experience like?
So I don't know. There's probably something a little off of me. Um, so it was a guy on a wrestling team was like, "Hey man, we're the same weight, and I know you're interested in MMA." I'm like, "Yeah, it'd be cool to try it out." So, yeah, well, he goes, "I have an amateur fight. Guy's a kickboxer. He's not doesn't have great groundwork. You could probably beat him. He's 0-0. So were you. You want to take the fight?" And I was like, "All right, yeah, why not?" Meanwhile, I've probably been in one fist fight, in my life, and so I start training. Um, but it's in our wrestling room, so there's no like real fighters out there. I'm just kind of messing around. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm just gonna do it. So we go to this fight, and it ended up being in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, at like the Sheraton Hotel, like huge event. I thought it was gonna be in a garage somewhere, like in the Carolinas, and it ended up being like a legit event. So we weigh in. It's like get my hands taped. No, I didn't even have that. We went to Walmart the night before. We bought matching shirts, so we look cool coming out. It was like this smoked out skull with praying hands. It was my brother and my roommate, and we get there and they're like, "All right, like everybody needs like your mouthpiece." I'm like, "All right, I got that." They're like, "You need a cup." I'm like, "I don't have that." So
Oh,
some random guy, I still talk to this day. It was he gave me, he had like a spare like jock strap he just gave me. He's like, "Hey, dude, keep it." I'm like, "All right, cool." Sorry, I got my cup. Like, you got to tape your hands up. I'm like, I got to find ask a random guy. I'm like, "How do you? Can you tape my hands?" And they're like, "All right, yeah, sure." So some random guy tapes my hands up. He's like, "Hey, I like your t-shirts." And I was like, "Yeah, we got them at Walmart last night. We just grabbed them like this random." He's laughing, thinking we're joking. And I'm like looking at my brother, and I'm like, if I get knocked out, I was like, I'm definitely waking up and tackling the ref. Like I'm gonna make it look good. Like when like in the UFC somebody gets choked out, they get up, they think it's still going. I'm just gonna
yeah.
grab the ref's leg and just keep going. We're joking about it. And this guy's looking at us like, I don't know if he's serious or not. They're looking at us like we're all in pretty decent shape. It looks like might have some sort of training. He's like, I don't know if they're tough or not, or they're just, they're just out there. Um, I go out for the fight, and there's like, I asked my brother, I'm like, hey, what's it look like out there? Is there a lot of people there? And he's like, yeah, it's like a couple of people in there. I go out there. There's like this packed. There's like jumbotrons. I see myself on the first fight of the night. I see like myself on TV for like the first time, like bouncing around. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, but this is wild. Like, I didn't expect this to walk out there. People were like doing side bets on the fight. They're like, because I was from New Jersey down in South Carolina. They're like, let's go Jersey. I got money on you. And I'm looking around I'm like, this is fucking crazy. And I go out there. The kid comes out. He's like the hometown hero. Everyone's cheering for him, and it goes all 3 rounds. Completely dominate him. Once like the bell rung and the fight started, I think he kicked me like once in the leg, and I'm like, oh, this is for real. Like he just kicked me. Like I never been kicked before. And then it was just all right. He throws a punch or double leg. Right, like give him a little feint. He pulls his head back, double leg. He was just a straight up like kickboxer, and I end up just dominating on the ground. The ref probably should have stopped it. I did like work to him on the ground, and it was a really cool experience. The kid was awesome. I don't know how he took a beating for 3 rounds because it was like he just got destroyed. But like that feeling was weird because it was during. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, and then the fight starts, and I'm like, this is great. Like, it's cool. We're fighting. It's over, and I'm like, right away, you're like, when's the next one? It's like that weird adrenaline rush, and it's like then you do another one, and then if you're walking out, and then you're like, why am I doing this again? Like I already won my last fight. I should have just left at that. And then you win again, and you're like, all right, when's the next one? And then you lose one. Then you run out, and you're like, all right. But the same thing, it instantly starts, and like, hey, like let's go again. So like, I guess if you're somebody that likes fighting, like I don't like going out on the street and fighting, but like fighting in the cage as a sport, to me, I think it's fun and almost relieving in a way. But like those feelings are wild. I guess it's probably the equivalent to somebody who likes to go like skydiving. You do it and you're like, this is crazy. Then you do it and you're like, wow, I want to do it again. But that experience is wild. Like that door closes, the cage locks. You're just in there looking at the other guy and you're like, oh man, like this is wild. This could go bad.
Well, I'm glad it went well.
Yeah.
That's wild that you guys bought T-shirts at Walmart the night before.
Dude, and all my fights, dude, I never had a coach in my corner until my last one. After 12 years, if I was trying to do it right, come back, and it was like a short training camp. It was just like 2 months learning how to like do some Muay Thai, and then I added it into the fight. And like I said, like it was really good. I did better standing up than I've done in all my fights with that one. Just kind of gassed out. Guy was just like a lot bigger than I was, but yeah, up until then, dude, I never fought with a coach. It was just my brother, a roommate, Walmart shirts, and a prayer.
It's freaking
It was crazy.
That's awesome. So you had a wrestling background, right? Or
Yeah, yep. So I wrestled for my high school was Thomasville North, and then I wrestled at Newberry College. I was there.
okay.
It was a small Division II school in South Carolina.
Nice. And then as far as like you didn't have any striking experience for the first
No,
one.
nothing.
That's so
Yeah, the
crazy.
only striking experience I had in my second fight was the experience that I got from my first fight. Like that's just how it went.
Better than
Then I
nothing.
started training. Yeah, then like when I started doing jiu-jitsu, I went back for one more fight, and I trained under Tom DeBlas for like a year and a half, and it was a little bit of jiu-jitsu, but it was mostly MMA. So I did learn a little bit there. I got to train with some really good people, but it was just like a short period of time. And then once I wanted to fight again, I wanted to try go fight one more, try to go pro. But then I got into the police academy, put it on hold, and then I never really got back into it until now. Now, like I said, midlife crisis, 34. I'm like, let's do it.
Let's go.
Should have been
How old
24.
did you
I
say
should
you
have been
were?
24. What's that?
How old did you say you were?
34.
Oh, 34. All right. That's not really midlife. Like you still got. That's like
Yeah, no, I still got time. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but sometimes you feel old.
Well, I mean, listen, for a guy who's also a cop, like full-time job, like you know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's
yeah,
definitely not a lot of people who are full-time cops just decide to get back into fighting. Like it's a small population, man. Like it's definitely
yeah.
But
Everybody says I'm nuts. They're like, dude, what are you doing? You're nuts. And they're like, that's awesome. They're like, you got nothing to prove, but like you're still doing it. Like that's like I wish I could do it. I'm like, you can if you believe. Like just do it.
that's awesome. So you trained under Tom DeBla Tom DeBlast. Was it MMA or did you do jujitsu there?
So I did my MMA there because he was fighting. So he was just getting into the UFC at the time. So I was there for a little bit. And then when I came back, I ended up going to what's it's called the Academy. It used to be
Mhm.
Josh Madama. Then they sold it, I think, to like two of their black belts, Corey Ashion and Sandy McCormick.
Mhm.
And I think there's somebody else. I think there's split owners, but those are the black belts that are there that are running it. So that's where I've been the last 3 years, and that place feels like home. Like there's all cops there. It's like some days it's just like filled with cops. It's pretty wild. So it's a good spot.
That's awesome. How is he as a guy, Tom DeBlast? I've heard nothing but good things. Like from the rumor mills of like people who have like met him before. Like I've heard he's a gentleman, like awesome dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been super respectful to like everybody that he's talked to. Um, I knew him when he was like making it into the UFC, and he was just a savage fighting. So maybe he was a little bit meaner to me, but only with punches. Never
Oh
words.
yeah.
I mean, he beat me up quite a few times, but we would go at it, and we had a good thing going because it was like I take him down, he works to get up, and he's like, I wish I wrestled, and then he had me in there, and he fought a lot of lefties, and I'm a lefty, even though my stand up was nothing compared to his. But the wrestling, I think, helped him. We had a good thing going over there. Yeah, he's. I've never heard anything bad about him. I know. I think he does something in New York. I think he was like, helping write like a use of force policy or something like that, or like maybe not use of force, but he was doing something with NYPD as far as like a
Mhm.
training curriculum for jujitsu and law enforcement. Do you know if that's
Oh,
true or not?
I wouldn't doubt it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I think he had something going on with that. But no,
yeah.
he's a good dude.
I
He's got
see
a
him.
great. He's got a his school is like phenomenal. Like everybody there is just nasty.
Oh yeah, all savages, I'm sure. I
Yeah.
see he's huge on Instagram. Like he's always into like the law enforcement. Like he posts all these wild videos and like he'll give him his like breakdown and take on it. It's really good. And he's always usually like super respectful like in the breakdown, especially if you see like a cop that's just like a disaster. Like he almost doesn't go into him like too like enough, but like he's
Yeah.
always super respectful. He's huge on that. He's always been like really good, like really cool, especially on Instagram. It's awesome for a clip like this. We'll be able to tag him and be like, "Hey, this guy used to train with you."
Yeah, he'll
That's
remember me. But I remember that guy. I used to punch him in the face.
that's sick. So the event coming up. Are you bringing anybody? Because this is the first event that we're doing in Jersey. So it's gonna be. I mean, the last event, like a ton of Jersey guys came over. I feel like the tri-state area is huge. Even last event, we had a guy fly out from like Chicago, which was wild. Another guy from Massachusetts. But what's your plan? Like bringing family and friends, like coworkers, stuff like that.
Yes, I think a good amount of people. I mean, the first time I did a super fight, I think I had like 20 people from work show up. And then you got family, friends. So it's going to be the guys from the academy, a lot of coworkers, a lot of family friends. So it's a mixture of everybody. I have a lot of support with doing these competitions, MMA fights. I got a lot of people that come out for me, so it's pretty cool. If there's not a lot of people there for me, it'll make me feel a little flat. Like the more people that show up, I put on a good show, I'll fight a little harder. And you don't want to lose in front of your coworkers.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you know anything about your opponent or?
I know he's a Navy SEAL, which is it's pretty badass. Like I think what was his name, Joe? That was Texan. Yeah, when he offered me
Yeah.
the fight with him, I'm like, oh hell yeah, I got to be on a mat with a Navy SEAL. Yeah, that's definitely an honor. But no, I don't know much. I just purple belt. He said 225, so I'm gonna make 225, and it's gonna be a good event. I gotta imagine he's got to be pretty an aggressive person. So it should be fun.
It's good. Listen, man, it's gonna be a good match. I'll be commentating it. Listen. it's like wild for me, like seeing, especially at the last event, just seeing him like up close like that. It's so awesome. And there's no other place. Like, where else could you sign up for a tournament and like your opponent would be a Navy SEAL, or like your opponent would be like the adjoining county cop, or like this NYPD guy, or like this guy from Chicago who does EMS. Like, it's the coolest thing in
Yeah.
the world. We see like, especially the matchups, and I was saying this on another interview that we just did. The vibe is so cool in like, first of all, in the arena, in the event, especially for like friends, families, and like coworkers and anybody who goes there. The only way that I've been able to describe it is it's been like complete badassery mixed with like very wholesome, like at the
Hmm.
end. Like, I've never seen like a local event or an event like get big like this where people don't leave like at the last 10 minutes. Like, people were in their seats until everything was like getting wrapped up and like lights were getting taken out and stuff like that. Like, very wholesome at the end. Super cool experience. So I'm glad you're going to be, bringing your family. It's going to be like kind of like home field advantage a little bit. But
Yeah.
any message to anybody who's going to be coming and seeing and showing up for your match?
Um, the messages show up to have a good time, support me, and it's going to be an exciting match. I can guarantee it's going to be an exciting match. You know, um,
Awesome,
it's going to be worth the ticket for sure.
nice. Well, listen, if people who are watching are excited, I'm excited. So listen, we'll definitely see you there.